If they only knew the chaos in our head that we are trying to control because we want it to be controlled.
Yes.
We see this much and we only show the client this much.
Well, you have to.
Because
that's why they hired us.
Yeah, to keep things under control. Hello everyone, I'm David Call and I'm here for Interior Tea. And today I am with New Jersey interior designer Denise Pough. Welcome to the Essex House.
Hi, thank you.
Isn't this gorgeous?
It's a beautiful
could it be more gleaming white fabulous?
It's bright.
It's bright. I know
but
it.
It's beautiful.
I'm
it's
so
beautiful.
glad that we wore some color because we brought the splash.
Yes, yes.
And that's what we're here to do today. We're here to splash some tea. Mm-hmm. And this is all about the fun of design. You know, we're going to dig into some of the fun chaos that we get to deal with and trying to make it nice for our clients.
Yes.
Because let's face it, a lot of our time is spent as a psychologist.
Definitely.
Yes.
Especially when they're married.
Oh, yeah. Got to figure out who's wearing the pants in this family anyway.
Who's paying?
Yeah. So speaking of being independent, I understand that you and your husband have a company together.
Yes.
But you're independent as an interior designer.
Correct.
Now, how does he like that?
It took a minute.
It took a minute?
It took a minute because you figure when I got married, and then I had my first son, and then I had my daughter like 2.5 years later, I was home. So we started a real estate management business together.
Oh, yeah.
But I was also always available to when he needed certain things, right? And it was like, okay, I'm taking care of the house, I'm taking care of the kids, et cetera, et cetera. So now my children are in their 20s, and a few years ago, I decided, I was like, you know what? My passion has always been in interior design. It was something that I needed to explore, so to speak. I started exploring it probably like in 2006. And
Oh, what a good time, though.
yeah. But I was exploring it, which is the best way to do it, is on your own home. So by 2009 was the biggest renovation I had, which is my basement.
Yeah.
And that was unfinished. And then we made it into a full, I guess, oasis?
Yeah.
So to speak.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and that kind of brought the bug a little bit bigger.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Well, I think that's synonymous with designers when they're getting started out. You either have a very good friend, you have a relative, or you're just your own home.
Yes.
Because if you destroy it, you can always redo it.
Yes. Yes.
And luckily we have all the vendors, we have all the suppliers, we have everybody that we get to work with. And that's actually something that's the most fun, I think, from my aspect is it's like there's a never-ending possibility of what we can do for anybody. Right now, in talking about that, your specialty is, of course, the whole home, but kitchens and baths.
Yes.
And those particular rooms get a beating. I mean, a beating.
They do. And I think one of the things that I love most about kitchens and baths is the transformation of it.
Oh, yes, because there's so many layers.
There's so many layers.
Yeah, it can be really, really just austere, like this place on the 33rd floor of the Essex House. Whoa, we're way up here. It can be like that, or lots of color, like what you're wearing. I mean, you're wearing a rainbow of happiness today, I'm telling you. So tell me about what you like to put into kitchen designs that literally shock your clients to absolute happiness.
Okay, so for me, one of my priorities, right? And it's funny when people say it's a priority, one thing, or you can't really have multiple priorities.
Sure.
But I do. And I like to maximize space. I like to maximize counter space. And I like to make sure I can put in as many appliances as I possibly can.
Sure.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a large, oversized, luxurious kitchen, with an...
It's all about function.
It's all about
storage.
Function. Yes.
Such as, like what I like to do in kitchens and baths, I'm sure you do the same thing. In those under areas where you got those doors, I have pull-outs with soft close in every single cabinet.
And I hate dead corners.
Oh, yeah. That's why we have those lazy Susans built into those corners.
Yes, I had a kitchen that I did actually in Manhattan, and I created a peninsula. And because we couldn't do a lazy Susan on the interior part of the peninsula, on the exterior side, I put a wine cooler.
Oh, that's perfect use. Just soak that up and soak up some wine.
Yes.
I gotta love that.
Yes. One of the things that I feel a client doesn't understand is the order of design. So planning is the first thing that you need to do.
You're a director.
Early on, I build enough trust with them that they can trust my opinion. So I had a client a couple of years ago. We were actually working on a kitchen. And this is one of the things that I tell people all the time. I'm like, don't bring me in 2 weeks before your kitchen is getting destroyed because you haven't picked your appliances, you haven't
done anything.
You haven't done anything.
Right.
But, you know,
we sure hope you haven't done anything.
Yes.
Please don't make any decisions without us.
Yes, yes. And so this particular contractor, he didn't want to work with an interior designer, but my client was like, no, I'm bringing her in because I need her help, and she knows, you know, what my ideas are, and she knows how to express that better and explain certain things for me. And so the process was going on, and her husband, he originally didn't want an interior designer either. So one particular day, I am doing a site visit, and I'm walking in, and he's sitting on the stairway that's right near the entrance to go towards the kitchen, and the contractor was in the kitchen. So he all of a sudden looks at me and he's like, oh my God, thank God you're here. I feel safe. But that's what you want to hear. It's like, you know, you want to hear it. And then the contractor's like, I have a question. And I said, okay. Gave me a choice of 2 things about how he was doing the crown molding. And I told him, I said, that's the better option. He's like, thank God you're here. And I was like, that's why I try to...
There's the aha moment.
I try to make sure that they can understand that I understand what you're talking about. I understand what my client wants and needs, and I also can speak contractor.
Right, I was going to say, you speak contractor. I use that all the time. And the interesting part of this is that their perception of what your value was going to be as a designer evidently got completely turned on its head.
Yes.
Because they turned back around and now they understand why you're there.
Right, right. By the end of the project, he's like, if you have any more projects, I was like,
there
noted.
you go. There you go. Now, I was looking at your Instagram, which is one of the reasons I wanted to interview you, because I get a little jealous because your Instagram posts are so fun and they're so amazing. You have an interesting handle.
DAJ Interiors.
Right. And I was trying to go, oh, that's got to be her middle name. Oh, that's got to be, tell me what it is. Tell us what it is.
Okay, so the business name is A-J, J-A-Y, Interiors by D. I named it that after my children. So my son's first name begins with A, and my daughter's name is Jalen. So that's why I tied it
That's
together.
where it all came together.
So when I did my Instagram page, I had a personal page before then. That I still have it. My personal page, which is D Camille. So when I was in high school, people always called me D.
Oh, okay.
And that's...
Makes sense.
I mean, even Luann Nagara calls me D. So I just kept D as part of the name, and I just put it for my Instagram name.
Oh, that's fantastic. So now you guys know where to find D. So we are here clashing a glass and spilling the tea on interiors. And I can't tell you how much fun this has been. So let's clash a glass and enjoy the tea.